3, 4. Scary when we get too loud. Suspicious when we don't speak out.
We're in the making. Making of something interesting. Yeah.
Sensitive when we choose to cry.
Ninajijua was actually supposed to have been in plural. It was supposed to have been tunajijua, meaning we know ourselves. When I first wrote it, I was writing it in the perspective of lots of people, those who have been discriminated against, those who have faced gender-based violence specifically, those who have been told no, those who have been told they can't do this is not for people like you won't make it. You know, those kinds of discouraging comments from people around you. That's what it was actually supposed to have been named. So I turned it into Ninajijua because I feel like when people sing something in the first person, they relate to it more. And when you sing it out loud, just basically, it's like a self-declaration, isn't it? When you sing in the first person. So it turned into that. And it's just a song that people can sing and remind themselves of who they are, what they're here to do, what they're purposed to do, to remind themselves that they do know what they're doing. They shouldn't allow people around them to tell them who they are or you know, what they're supposed to be accomplishing in life. So that was the reason why that title came along.
Sensitive when we choose to cry.
So I got the inspiration for the song just by sitting in my studio and just trying out new lyrics. I'd written these lyrics, or some of them. I'd written a few of the lyrics before. We were supposed to have used them for a video that Moses wanted to do. It was going to be a poem. So a few of the lyrics came from that. So I just built upon those lyrics and I added a chorus and I added a first verse and I added a bridge, so on and so forth. So when Mike Rabah from Homeboys called me and presented me with the opportunity to do this conference, he was like, oh, we were thinking about doing a theme song for the conference so that the song can live on past this year. Every time the conference happens, you know, people can relate it to a particular song with a particular message. And that's how I was like, oh, there's this song that I sort of like started somewhere. Let me look for it in my notes. I went in through my phone. I found it in my notes and I built upon that. And then I sent him a voice note singing the song. Different chorus. Chords were sort of the same, but the chorus was different. Then he just sort of asked me to tweak the chorus itself. And I sent him a second draft and he loved it. And he was like, yeah, this is the one. And I took it to studio. What came first wasn't actually the title. The title actually came last. What came first were the words, the lyrics. I'm really in love with lyrics, like big time. I want to make sure that what I write transcends time, that I leave behind a catalog of music that means something. The lyrics actually speak to something and can last a very long time, even after I'm gone. So the lyrics definitely always come first, or I try. So this particular song, the lyrics came first and the title came way later, like at the end when I was like, okay, this chorus, what should I make it sound like? I wanted something that people can sing back to themselves really easily, something that can be replicated really quickly as well. If someone hears it once or twice, they definitely are like, oh yeah, I can sing that in a key as well that people can replicate. So the chorus sort of came at the end in the studio session. I remember I was with Bram. Bram is the producer, and the ke was the last thing that I actually recorded, absolute last. And I just had this melody. I was like, I've got this melody in my head. It sort of goes like similar to what I did with Lenga, the intro to Lenga. And he was like, oh my God, that sounds great. Like, lay it down before you forget what it sounds like. So we laid it down and then we decided that it should just stay like that. There should be no lyrics. It should just be kereke, basically.
Never work again, look at all I've done. Told I should sit down.
This song had the quickest turnaround ever because I was told about this song, let's say, I think on a Thursday, and the conference was the following Monday, like 3 days later. And they wanted a song basically like produced, not just for me to write one, but to actually like produce one and record it and send it to them before the conference began on the Monday. So I called Bram. Yo, Bram, where are you? He was like, oh, I'm in Kisumu. And I was like, oh my God, I've got this project. I need, it to be turned around in like literally no time. And he said, oh, I'm in Kisumu, but I'm just about to walk into the bus to come back to Mombasa. And I was like, thank God, oh my goodness. God is really like looking out for me right now. So he traveled at night on the night bus, and he was in Mombasa on the Friday. So Friday morning, he just sort of had a nap. He freshened up and he came over to my studio, and we recorded this song in a day. We just sat on it and made sure that we had got all the vocals, and then he took it away and worked on the track itself with my vocals. And he came back, he sent me a note with a draft of the song. And after the draft, I was like, man, this sounds dope, man. This sounds so dope. And that's how quickly this song came about. I was actually quite shocked by how we were able to do it in so little time. I didn't think it was going to be done, to be fair. I was just like, oh my goodness, I've got this deadline. And the thing is, for me as a person, I really like, I'm really adamant on making sure that I deliver, I don't want to disappoint people, because I know what it feels like to be disappointed by people. So I don't want to be the person, doing the disappointing. So I make sure that if I give someone my word, that I follow through as much as I can. So when this song, we did it in a day and they took it away, and I was like, oh my goodness, it's now Saturday. Will we be able to do it? Because tomorrow on the Sunday, we had a dress rehearsal at the venue, and they needed a song by that Sunday. But thank goodness we were able to do it.
Was told I couldn't run, so now I fly.
I wanted the song to sound coastal, and so we got a guitarist in the day that we were recording. I called a guitarist. My guitarist was not available, so he recommended me another guitarist who came from Diani, actually, to be that's actually quite funny. He came from the venue that we were supposed to be at. He had to cross the ferry and so on and so forth. So he came through, and I showed him the voice note that I made, which is the same voice note I sent to Mike earlier the day, before. And I said, I want these chords, but let's make it chakacha. I wanted definitely to make it coastal because that's where I'm from, and I love chakacha in general, and I don't really hear that much on the radio. So we did that with him. And apart from chakacha, another thing that I told Bram as well as the guitarist was, this song needs to sound international, because that was the brief I was given, to make it sound not just Kenyan, but something that people can listen to outside of Kenya and understand it and relate to it. So most of the lyrics are actually in English, because most people will hopefully understand English more than Swahili, if it was played in a different country. So I made sure that the verses were in English and the chorus had a bit of Swahili in it, so that, people can bring it back and understand where it's from. Another brief that I gave the team as well was for it to sort of like, okay, I love Sia, right? The artist. So I was like, something Sia, like what would Sia and like chakacha put together sound like? Like that's what I want, a mash of those two things. This sort of like big sound, very grand, something that can be played in clubs, as well as a little bar, as well as a house party, as well as a massive stadium, that kind of sound, an international sound. So I feel as though we were able to deliver. Many of the lyrics, of course, I love them all. It's difficult to choose my favorite, but one that stands out is, we work twice as hard to get half as far. You didn't make me great, it was the other way around. Those two lyrics hit me every time I perform them, every time I hear them. I'm just like, yes, it's because that is me in a nutshell, man. I work twice as hard to get half as far as people who have, the right connections, people who have the right, surname, those people who have been in the industry longer than me, those people who are not disabled, things like that. And sometimes I feel like I want to stop. I want to like quit music because I'm like, man, it's taking really long to do what I imagine or what I know that I can do. The image I have in my head of the things that I can achieve, it takes me so long to do it. I feel like, man, I'm really behind. And so, yeah, that lyric really means a lot to me because it's true. And as a woman as well, in a male-dominated industry, we definitely work twice as hard to get half as far as men do. Men just sort of like walk into a boardroom and they're given a project, they're given, the deal. They're, they close really, really quick, compared to women do. Women get, there's a lot of like nuances that women have to go through that men don't even know about. They don't even, if I tell men what I have to go through as a woman with a disability, they're just like, man, I do not relate to that at all. Because yeah, man, they have it a bit easier. That's just a fact. Even though people might say like, oh, you're being dramatic. I'm like, no, it's just a fact. The objective of the song is self-empowerment. It is a declaration that people can echo when they listen to the song, people can relate to when they sing the song out loud, to say like, yo, I'm not aggressive, I'm passionate. There's this line that Amanda Seales says that goes, clapping back is my declaration that we ain't having it. That's basically a summary of the song. Being able to actually say what you think in form of a song, like, yo, I know I can do this thing. I know that I'm held back in these ways. I know that people sort of like push me to the side or to the back because they want to shine more than they want me to shine. But in this song and in the lyrics, I wanted to make sure that I am saying the things that I've gone through and the things that I really believe in and that I have experienced. Not to be shy about it and just to be like, yo, man, make room for me, get used to me, sipangwingwi, because I'm here to stay and I'll do this as long as God gives me the breath to do it. Also, the objective of the song is as well, of course, to speak out against gender-based violence, not just gender-based violence, but any type of oppression of women, oppression of men as well, to be honest, because men go through it as well. It's that women go through it at bigger levels, but it happens to all of us. And so people who have gone through these things, who feel that they see themselves in the song, it's for them as well to make sure that they are given a voice that maybe they don't have, or they don't know how to express things. I want to be the channel for that, to be able to say like, yo, people are going through this thing, including myself, and so I'm making this song for an array of different types of people, for a massive population of people, just so that people can know that, yo, there's someone out here that is speaking out against these things, and she's creating an anthem for us.
Tata.